Live from Orlando, Florida, it's theCUBE. Covering ServiceNow Knowledge17. Brought to you by ServiceNow.
Welcome back to Orlando, everybody. This is theCUBE, the leader in live tech coverage, and we are covering 3 days wall-to-wall coverage of ServiceNow Knowledge 2017. I'm Dave Vellante with my co-host, Jeff Frick. When we first started doing Knowledge in 2013, you'd walk around the show floor and the names that you'd see weren't the brand names. Well, Infosys is here, and Gaurav Uniyal, who's the industry principal of North America for the practice lead at ITSM for the ServiceNow practice with Infosys. You're seeing the big SIs join the community and really start to add value. Gaurav, welcome to theCUBE, thanks so much.
Thank you.
So how'd you guys get into this? Like I say, 4 or 5 years ago, you guys might have been kicking the can and now you're all in. What's the journey been like?
Sure. So we have been a partner with ServiceNow for almost last 8 years, and see, as I look back to the journey, so I can categorize this journey into 4 parts, right? So initially we saw 2010 to 2012 is basically about ITSM, how do you get the foundation capabilities in?
Right.
Once that was there, we saw for the next couple of years it was all about, how do you integrate services together, right? The service integration management as a concept. The third wave we saw is where concepts like ITOM, mobility, there's a lot of focus on user experience, right? And now, here we are in 2017, and as we look at the trends, what we are anticipating for the next 2 to 3 years, on a very high level, there are 3 trends which we believe are going to shape the journey of ServiceNow. First one is AI. Obviously, how do you, bring in concepts of machine learning, chatbots, predictive analytics, right? And how would that help organization do things faster, more efficiently, and in a cost optimization manner, right? So AI is definitely one. Second trend that we are seeing is now organizations are looking for solutions that are relevant to their business, right? So solutions which are specific to retail industry, to CPG, to finance, to healthcare, and so on and so forth. So we are seeing a lot of traction there. And third is the natural expansion of ServiceNow into newer areas like, obviously CSM, HR, and so on and so forth. So these are the 3 trends on a high level that we see: AI, going vertical, and then going horizontal by expanding these capabilities.
So a big factor when you talk to customers is sometimes it's not simple to implement ServiceNow. They need a partner like yours. So where do you start? I mean, when we first started following ServiceNow, a lot of folks weren't adopting CMDB and going hard at the service catalog. To take advantage of these trends, the AI and other things that you talked about, do they need to be there? I mean, on the maturity curve, if you could talk about that a little bit.
Sure. So what we see is that obviously there are a set of foundational capabilities that are required, right? There's definitely a push required from the management to be able to, drive the initiative. But more and more we are seeing, our clients implementing the solution in a standardized manner. So if I look back 4 or 5 years back, a lot of customization, everybody have their own processes. But when I talk to the clients now, they're looking for something which is ready-made, which can be deployed in a very, very, faster manner.
Gaurav, why Infosys? Talk about what you bring to the table versus maybe some of the other suppliers out there. And what do you consider your sweet spot?
Sure. So I think I would, a couple of things. So one is Infosys, we do a lot of work outside of ServiceNow, right? So we have practices for cloud, we have practices for HR, and so on and so forth. So one thing that we bring to the table is the domain expertise. So if you are implementing HR, it requires not only ServiceNow skills, but as well as domain skills to be able to configure the processes, right? So that's one differentiator that we have. The second differentiator we have is delivering ServiceNow as a service, right? So clients are also looking for turnkey projects where one vendor can, bring in the platform, bring in consulting, implementation services, and also be able to manage the platform end to end, right? So that's the second thing. And third thing is basically being ahead of the curve. So what we have done, we have invested last I would say last 8 to 10 months in building a product that we brand as ESM Cafe, Enterprise Service Management Cafe, and it's what we call as a gold image of ServiceNow, right? And that helps you deploy ServiceNow faster in an efficient manner.
So Gaurav, what did you see 8 years ago? Because clearly ServiceNow isn't where it is today. That gave you guys the confidence to make the investment.
Right. So, and before ServiceNow, we used to work with other products as well. What we saw new with ServiceNow was a huge focus on user experience, right? So how do you make it easy for the users? How do you deploy an intuitive solution? And in our view, that has been the key, right? The focus on user experience, bring simplistic workflows, and be able to drive user behavior.
Maybe some of those other domains. You mentioned HR. Where else do you see Infosys is really strong?
Sure. So what we are seeing is ITOM is definitely one area that we are focusing on, right? HR, CSM, these are two big bets that we have. And then we are also focusing a lot on building vertical solutions. As I said, having specific solutions for retail industry, for our healthcare clients, for manufacturing clients. So that has been a focus area for us.
Okay, we're out of time, Gaurav, but I'd like to leave you with the last word, Knowledge17. What does it mean to you, your customers, sort of Infosys, and your presence here? Give us the bumper sticker.
Sure, so I think if I have to summarize everything in one word, I will say it's all about diversity, right? We see so many partners, so many clients, everybody, they have their own perspective. But how do you bring in all that diverse experience and gel it together to be able to deliver the experience for the users?
Great. Well, Gaurav, thanks very much for coming on theCUBE.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Yep, it has been a pleasure.
Okay, we'll
Thank
keep it
you.
right there, everybody. We'll be back with our next guest right after this short break. This is theCUBE. We're live from ServiceNow Knowledge 17. Right back.
Okay.